Morning, Broncos fan. This is Husky Hardcore getting ready to make my Denver Broncos Kansas City Chiefs preview here. Hopefully, this goes through. This will be my third attempt. Something's going on with YouTube today, but we'll talk a little bit about the Chiefs. I won't get a whole lot into last week's game just because it is already Thursday. Thursday night game's getting ready to start tonight, and I wanted to get something out there. So basically, we'll start with last week's game. Got to be really happy with it. I was definitely really happy with it because I have Peyton Manning and Julius Thomas on my fantasy team, so I was able to rack up quite a bit of points there in that first half. We moved the ball really good in the first half, even on the scoring drive where we had to settle for the field goal. We had a first and goal. Thought we should have at least got one handoff to Monty Ball instead of three plays that we did, but still we came out. We got points, three touchdowns in the next drive. I mean, we looked really, really efficient and good in that first half. Unfortunately, we did not look so good in the first half. Uh, on the second half, offensively, we kind of stumbled and allowed the Colts to get back into the game. Our defense kind of went into a prevent zone type defense. Uh, I understand that they just didn't want to get beat and give them some quick scores so they could get back into the game. They ended up getting a quick score anyways when we weren't able to push their tight end out of bounds and he ran down the sideline to get that long touchdown play. They also got the onside kick back, and while the score did get close and it shouldn't have gotten that close, we made mistakes and we made decisions that made it that way. Part of it was the sitting back and trying not to get beat deep. But I understand what the defense coordinators thinking is we got Peyton Manning. Our offense is looking unstoppable right now, and we're expecting them to score a couple times, and that just didn't happen. We scored one more touchdown, a nice run by Monty Ball. I liked what I saw out of Monty Ball. A lot of times there wasn't anything there, and he was getting hit in the backfield, especially on the touchdown play, but on other plays too. And he kept his feet turning and got around the corner and looked good. I kind of got off the subject there, but we only scored once in the second half, so um, we had some overthrown balls late in the game that could have kept the clock going, got us a first down. Manning didn't look really like he was being a little too safe, is what I believe they said on TV, and I think that was correct on the last series that we had. The series, I believe, just before that, he tried to force a ball into Demarius Thomas. Demarius was covered, and the defender made a really good play. You would have looked right behind where Demarius was in the middle of the field. We had the Emmanuel Sanders middle linebacker matchup, which would have been big. I mean, we definitely would have gotten the first down, and who knows, after he catches that, just Emmanuel Sanders and Jaquil Jackson in the middle of the field, it could have went for a real big play. So he missed a play. Peyton's allowed to do that every once in a while, and overall we looked really good. Defense looked good when we played man to man. It was nice to see the rookie Roby looks like he's really good a man to man. Our linebackers had a couple big plays, knocked down some balls playing man to man. We got a couple times where we got burnt with receivers running across the middle, but that's hard for any linebacker on any team to cover those matchups. And we'll get a little bit better with that when we get Trevathan back into the lineup. But overall, really good game. More with two interceptions. Sleeve looked good, defending the ball. Roby looked good. Ward, I mean, everybody looked fairly good. We didn't put as much pressure on the quarterback as I would have liked to have seen. Um, but can't complain. Let's go on to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are pretty horrible this year. Um, their expectations after last year's playoff, uh, making it to the playoffs, and actually had a pretty good showing in that first half of the Colts game. So a lot of people here in the Kansas City area where I'm from was really high on the Chiefs coming in this year, and they had projected records of 9-7 and 10-6. I heard people saying, and going back to the playoffs. And but when you look at the talent on this team, they probably have the least amount of talent on their team than any other football team. And I knew it was going to be a bad season for them. After their preseason games, people readjusted their win record to 7-9. The Kansas City sports talking to people around here. Then after last week's game, they think that they're going to win maybe 4 games, and I don't even think they'll win that. They're still counting the 2 games against the Raiders, since the Raiders are the butt of every joke as being horrible. But when you look at the lineups, the Raiders have a lot more talent than the Kansas City Chiefs do. Things are going to be really bad in Kansas City for a long time. They have no defensive line. Their best defensive lineman that they thought they were going to have is out for 4 games suspended. Their D backs are horrible. They lost Derek Johnson to injury. He is out for the season for the linebacker. They lost another run stopping lineman out for the season. And there's just not any talent on this team besides Jamal Charles. That brings me to what I think that the Chiefs are going to do a lot is we'll see a lot of Jamal Charles. Last week, Jamal Charles only had 11 touches in the entire game. 3 of those came on the first 3 plays. So the entire rest of the game, he only had 8 touches. Kansas City sports fans are really upset about it. There have been calls about it all week uh, to Sports Talk Radio, and that night it's been a big deal. Andy Reid came out after the game, said he apologized. It was bad play calling, and he understood. He kind of made a little excuse that the Titans were taking Jamal Charles out of the game, but everybody's going to try to take Jamal Charles out of the game all year long because he's the only talent on the team. He really, really is. So I expect the Broncos to try to stop that. I mean, if we just stop Jamal Charles, this is going to be a bloodbath. This will be the easiest game just because we're home. We'll play them again on the road, but by that time, I think the Chiefs probably will just give up on the season, and it's yeah, it should be a blowout. It should be a blowout. We have a hard schedule. This is one of the times where we don't have a hard game we're playing this week, so we should blow them out. Um, Take advantage of that, get a good feel, get the offense going good, defense feeling really confident before we go into Seattle in week 3. That'll be about it. It'll be nice, like I said, just to have the blowout victory. We want to kick a team while it's down, and the Chiefs are really, really down. Like I said, I think they might give up on their team here after a couple of weeks after they get beat down a couple more times. And that would be good news for the Broncos and everybody in the AFC West when fans who have already started turning against the general manager start turning against Andy Reid. I still think Andy Reid's a good coach, but if you're not winning games and you look horrible, then you're going to lose your job. So we need to do our part into making the Chiefs look horrible because that's what they are. And just get after it. And there was something else I was going to say, but it's first thing in the morning. My other video that I did before this one was a little bit better, and I probably forgot some things, but YouTube's really messed with me. So let's just hope this one uploads because I don't know when I'm going to have time to do it again. Go Broncos fans, go Broncos, and I'll be back next week to talk about the Seattle preview and what I thought about the Chiefs game. See ya.